You know, before this event, I've been fairly inactive in Roblox. Beyond the occasional 1 week Roblox phase with or without friends, I haven't really been doing much since it doesn't really run well on my laptop. So for the most part, I've been missing out on a lot of the events. Well, that and the mind-boggling game selections, the uninteresting items, and the terrible reward model that requires more work for less rewards made me not want to participate in the first place, but that's not important. So for the most part, I wasn't really interested in doing the event. It wasn't until I saw a friend doing the Untitled Tech Game event. It just looked so awesome and cool that I just had to participate. So the way the event works is that there are two kinds of tokens. The first are the standard tokens. The way you get these are fairly straightforward. Just do what the game wants you to do and you get it. It's fairly standard modern event stuff. Now, where it gets interesting is with the mega tokens. These ones are far more cryptic, more difficult to get, and unlike the regular ones, must be gotten in a specific order. So, for example, in order to get the natural disaster survival token, you have to have already gotten the arsenal one. And in order to get the token for arsenal, you have to have gotten the one for Hell's Kitchen, and it goes on and on. Alright, time to get into the games proper. I'll be looking at these in the mega token order because any other order will simply be heresy in the face of the mega hunt. The first game was SpongeBob Tower Defense. It's a SpongeBob SquarePants themed tower defense game. Doesn't that just set your expectations to the roof? You know, back in the halcyon days of 2017 or something, games like these used to be absolutely legally dubious and will most likely have been wiped off the face of the planet by copyright in about 2 months' time. Oh, how the times change. The primary tower defense gameplay was inoffensive. There isn't really a lot to say about it, like, yeah, it sure is a tower defense game themed around SpongeBob. The main event area, the Dramageddon, was pretty fun and easy since the game gives you a bunch of powerful towers for the event. Where it got a bit complicated was with our first mega token. More specifically, the map clues. See, I wasn't smart enough to decode the first one on my own, so I had to ask someone else for the answer. After which I decided, after getting the second clue, that I will try and solve this clue on my own. And this map clue had a picture of a cave with a blue jellyfish alongside it. I know what that means. Cue me trying to get to the second roll of the base game for realizing I didn't even need to do all that. The clue is actually leading to a cave marked with a blue jellyfish in a Dramageddon level. Isn't that awkward? Anyways, it's okay I guess. The second game was Untitled Tag Game, and my god, this was one of the highlights of the entire event. Now, the regular token required me to get $350 by playing the game and tagging people, all that jazz, but oh, I'm not here for just a regular token, I'm here for a mega token. The way you get to it is by going through a hidden portal that sends you to the dystopian future city of Cash Capital. There you get forcibly employed by the CEO of Big Business Incorporated to go and get the mega token. The gameplay in general was very creative. First part, you had to control a drone to survey your fellow inmates, the next you were sneaking around some guards. The best part of this was definitely the climax, wherein after grabbing the token and dropkicking your employer in the face, you're running straight after a burning down facility. Dodging drones and lasers, avoiding flames and collapsing architecture, all this set to some amazing music. Peak. Pure concentrated peak. I love it, it stole the show and everything after this is simply downhill from here. Well, besides the next game. The third game was Pressure. So, on my first attempt at the thing, I died from a fish guy, my heart slowed down at a rapid pace and I had to ask, anyone, wherever you are, help! And so I got help from my acquaintance Boxeye. Sorry for describing myself, I just don't know you that well. And to be honest, this one wasn't really that hard. It was probably because I got the help of someone who was hyper competent at the game. And also after the thing got nerfed to hell. Once you learn the monster's behaviors and also turn on dash mode, the game becomes more of a dance. Keep an eye on the big guy, flashbang the stringy guy when it attacks, and hide along with the big guy to avoid the big fish. I'm not saying it becomes easier, it just becomes simpler. While just finishing the level is enough for a normal token, the mega one requires that you search for hidden radios and decode their signals with a decoder item you can find only after you get the last game's token. After recording all the radios, you then go to some place, punch in some symbols to a door, and now you're in hell! This is where the fun begins. Running through the place, collecting token fragments, and dodging lava pools alongside dealing with the monsters was very exhilarating, even if Boxeye did do all the work. This one ties with Untitled Tag Game for number 1, and that's only because I can't decide which one is better. Either way, nothing else I've played in the event really compared to these two. Oh, and also the music is great too, I didn't know how to work the statement into the paragraphs before this. Now, after gaining the third mega token, what I should have done was return to the hub and headed to the orb world to do a puzzle thing in order to get an accessory so I can continue on with the hunt. The puzzle in question was this block pushing game reminiscent of something you'd find on a Nokia phone. I kinda delayed on doing so since in order to access the orb world there was an agreement thing that required me to input my age to enroll in the IRL tourney. Since I wasn't really planning on joining the tourney, I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna agree. It took me until getting the normal token for chain that I realized that I did need to accept the agreement since the accessory was a prerequisite for the next mega token. Very embarrassing, I know. Anyways, the fourth game was Chained. In case you didn't consider SpongeBob Tower Defense an oddball pick, then this game is our first one. The game's one of those gimmick hobbies that run on one idea and stick with it the whole time. And the gimmick here is that you have to beat the hobby while cooperating with someone who is chained to you. The main event island wasn't really too hard. I paired with some random person and did most of it without too much trouble. The only major hiccup was whenever me and my teammate had to use jump pads. The like made anything involving them a complete gamble as we flailed around in the air trying to get on the next platform. The mega token, however, was a bit more exciting. Situated in the mountains, shot by the boulders. I ended up pairing with a different person because of the agreement issue earlier. To be genuine, this one wasn't too bad. The level started with the both of us unchained and having to do a bunch of puzzles where one of us had to hold the button for platforms or ladders to appear and or move for the other to jump on. It's only later on that the chains come back on. The only major roadblock was this long section that had one of us holding down a button to move a platform across a white crevice with a few lava spinners in the way. It was both hard and time consuming since anytime one of us died we had to wait for the platform to return. It ended with a Crash Bandicoot style boulder chase and the mega token was mine. Or ours rather. It was only a fun experience, can't say it's the best, but yeah. You know, now I wonder, why the hell was the puzzle in the orb world block based? The fifth game was Rivals, and wowee is this quite a downgrade from Chained. Like, I know it's kinda odd to say that a game like this somehow gets outlawed by gimmick hobby of all things, but hear me out, alright? I find that this game isn't really as ambitious as the games before it. There's no special campaign, there's no exclusive levels, there's no nothing. So all it really amounts to is just a whole bunch of busy work where you gotta play matches and kill some people. And after that's done, you go needle searching for secrets, then you talk to some chicken guy, then you kill some more people and collect things, then pawn a robot boss for a company of your choosing. It's not really that exciting, surprisingly enough. Like, even the robot boss was kinda boring. This one was also fairly difficult, if only because I hate having to play against other people. I got consistently sweep and I don't know who or what to blame this on. I swear to god, all of the mobile players I fought had to be Southeast Asians or something. I stood absolutely zero chance against them. The matchmaking was kinda crap given the fact that I often had to go up against people who were 20 to 40 levels above me. It was kinda fun, but for me at least, it doesn't really compare to the last ones. Though it's probably too early to the event to say something like that. The sixth game was Clip It. It's Roblox TikTok. What? So the quest for the token required me to do 3 different tasks. The first task involves scrolling through 15 different clips. After completing that task, I then had to take a look through the catalog and put 3 different items on my avatar. These items could be accessories or articles of clothing and whatnot. After accomplishing the mission to put 3 different items onto the character that represents me, the final task involved creating a short form video, the terminology used in this context being clips, that contains a song and a filter. And now I've got the normal token, but that's not the mega token, so now we're going to go for the mega token. In order to acquire the token that is particularly mega, I had to wear 5 different hats and go find the golden cameras hidden in places in correlations to the hats I wore. The way I was supposed to figure this out was through a series of riddles and I just looked at the answers. All in all, I have absolutely zero idea. Can someone explain? Can you explain? Please, I need an explanation. Can someone look up Clip It ending explained? The 7th game was World Zero, and so funny RPG, sword swinging, magic slinging RPG game I guess. Woo! I'm so terrible at writing videos! This one was just kinda I had to do a dungeon for a regular token. After that I had to search a bunch of places for gems to place on some temple portal place and I had to go fight a special boss, and if you couldn't tell by this point, I felt very apathetic about this one. It was fine, passing grade even. I don't really have any other opinions and are just ambivalent fluff, so let's move on. Returning to the hub after my 7th token, it was now time to go do the next puzzle. The cube roll puzzle was the slidey block pushing thing and I solved it by accident, so whatever. Accessory got, tile world went to, time to continue with the next set of games. Hopefully the event picks up from here. The 8th game was a dusty trip. It's more or less just a clue of the game, the long drive, or maybe Road to Granby's, and ooh boy, I hated this one! Hated this one to my very core! I had to reference Roger Ebert just to get my hatred across, that's how much I hated this one! I had my friend Faker guest with me for this one, and goodness me am I real thankful for her help, because my god! So the gist of this one is that there is an event exclusive campaign where you have to go down a ship and deal with 3 separate bosses with a secret boss fight available only for people with a previous mega token. The way you get into the secret boss is by assembling a portal that's situated on some stone structures by gathering the parts and bringing up to the tallest structure through platforming. The secret boss in question is some zombie scientist guy whose primary attacks are shooting rockets, iron lasers, and sending zombies that attack you. This doesn't sound that bad, and Faker's plan was to go doing the secret boss man and get the mega token before dealing with the rest of the thing to get the normal one. Except, for one thing, literally everything went wrong! For one thing, no checkpoints. That means every single time I or we died, we had to assemble the portal again. And assembling the portal is stupid annoying since it involves finagling a whole bunch of portal parts that also explode if you hold them for too long. And the boss itself? My god. Okay, so first off, I hate the goddamn zombies! They shouldn't be a complete nightmare, but with how the physics and weapon system work, they're more likely to just push your gun aside and maul you. The zombies also slowly increase in speed as the fight goes on, which means that at a certain point in the fight it becomes completely impossible to deal with them on your own as they move faster than you can get in range. Thankfully enough, the boss's other attacks are pretty easy to manage, but also it gets really boring. Like, there's a part where the guy goes mad and peppers rockets all over the arena, but that's the only time where the other attacks get exciting. The zombies are infinitely more lethal. So most of the fight is just dodging attacks and waiting till the boss tires out so you can fight upon them. And this takes a while too, so the boss just ends up being a test of endurance and patience as you whittle down their health and deal with the damned zombies! And remember, there are no checkpoints, so for every single time you die, that means having to drive up to the portal place again, assembling the portal again, and dealing with the zombie guy once more, which means having to whittle down his health down once again, between annoying attacks and those damned... You get it, right? This one game took a whole day just to do, which I will admit is because Faker's plan got a bit derailed when a friend decided to join, and whoop-de-doo, they didn't have the mega token up to this point. So we decided to try and do the campaign normally, and I don't want to talk about it. I just don't. Hey, at least I got a cool picture of Faker. And me. Man, I wish the next game was better. The 9th game was Infection Gunfight. Yeah, this one is really bad. The entire game feels like it was made in 2 minutes with a quarter of that spent on deciding its name. Nothing in this game feels like there was even a 16th of a thought put into it, it's just so wildly unbalanced. And the 2 tokens. There's simply nothing else in this event that compares to it. And I'm very happy for that. The 10th game was Basketball Legends. Finally, something that would make me kill myself, alright. So for a normal token, I had to do a 4v1 against an NPC player. My first match was absolutely catastrophic since this was the first time I played this game and I also didn't practice because I'm stupid and also everyone seemed to be in the exact same circumstances I was. So for my second match, I just had someone good carry me. Something I have to point out is just how mean the people here are. My first match, there was this guy watching us who spent the entire match trash talking us and begging to join the game. And on the second match, I asked the guy who carried us for advice on how I can get better at the game, and I just said to go play NBA 2K. When I said I didn't want to play 2K, they just told me to stop bothering them and let them carry. Nice tips, man. I love tips that tell me to go play an entirely different game. The mega token involved finding some shapes and numbers and shooting hoops on the training area while standing on said shapes on a specific order specified in the numbers. Then after that, you get to match up against another AI player to get as many points in a limited time frame. I went so much better against this guy. I can only attribute it to the practice I got from having to shoot hoops a lot just to get here. This one was okay, but after the 1-2 hit of a dusty trip and infection gunfight, this felt like heaven. Please let the next game be simply tolerable levels of alright. Ah! The 11th game was Metro Life. Seriously? The 12th game was Hell's Kitchen. Oh man, I love participating in the hunt and collecting tokens, mega or not, in the games that are part of the hunt and redeeming tokens I collected from participating in the hunt for cool and interesting accessories. I just hope I don't look at the evil messed up Roblox Golden Ramsey. Ah, oh no, why does he look like that? With all that misery out of the way, it was now time to return to the hub once more and do the next puzzle. And it's a sliding tile puzzle. Guess the tile will also start to get its last laugh on me. It was kinda hard to do since the image was kinda hard to parse, but I did it. At least I got a TV head hat out of this. The 13th game was Arsenal. Oh hell yeah, this one's actually pretty fun. The event campaign has our protagonist Link blasting through enemy territory after having destroyed an enemy helicopter. Shooting evil enemy robots and stuff, this game's the first actually fun one since, I don't know, Basketball Legends. It's pretty good for what it is, though it gets kinda dull since there's not much variety, like in general. It's just shooting robot enemies with an AK-47 through some uninteresting environments, but shooting things is just kinda fun by default I guess. It's fine, and besides, that's only the normal token. After entering a secret room and doing a bunch of secret things, you end up unconscious and waking up in an RPG. Now of course, I have a lot of critiques on the RPG system used, primarily how bare bones it is. It's obvious that the system was made under a short deadline considering how stripped back it is. I would even say that it's even more stripped back than the most basic RPG Maker preset. No defending, no fleeing, no equipping stuff, only 3 usable items. Hell, I don't think there's even a proper EXP system and just level up at certain points of the campaign, as far as I know. And yet, just the sheer novelty of an Arsenal RPG where our protagonist Link wants to learn the power of friendship with his friends Rebel, Rouser and Ninja while fighting against an oppressive robot enemy thing is just really funny. UTG and Pressure may be the best ones, but this one won my heart. For what it's worth at least. The 14th game was Natural Disaster Survival. You know, I wish I had more things to say about this, but ultimately I've got nothing. Just gonna do some puzzles then grieve. I also met Golden Cheese Cookie 3 times. Isn't that cool? And by the time I started Eat the World, there was only at most 1.5 hours left, so I decided to quit right then and there. I don't really feel like searching for the secret button in that, and I was also feeling really tired, so whatever. And that was the event, everybody. Now obviously I didn't finish the event. I joined fairly late into the event and I wasn't really putting much of my all into it at first. I was just here for Until Attack game after all. Everything else was just because I kinda felt like it. I did kinda wanna see what Guy Elevator and Car Crushes 2 offered, but whatever. Now, for my all-important verdict, what is my opinion on this event? Well, there were highlights. Just like a pouch containing a particularly extreme variety of treats, it's a very mixed bag. Of course, UTG and Pressure reigned supreme over the event, but there's a couple others worthy of note. Arsenal, while the main campaign was passable, the RPG part was genuinely really fun if only through novelty. And while Chain is a strong downgrade in quality compared to the 2 games before it, I felt it at least carried over a lot of the momentum of the games before it. Also, I'm very biased for Roblox platformers, so maybe that's why I like it. But unfortunately, the rest of the event just isn't as good as its highlights. While SpongeBob TD and World Zero's contributions to the event were passable, my only problem with them is that they just aren't good games. World Zero is a box standard MMO with mediocre combat, and SpongeBob TD is just a Roblox tower defense game with a SpongeBob coat of paint. Whereas, while Rivals, Basketball Legends and Natural Disaster Survival were pretty fun, their contributions to the event just like the ambition that made UTG and Pressure so wonderful. Like, it was fun to shoot people in Rivals, but that's all there really is to the thing. There's a minor plot involving the chicken guy and the blueprints, I think, but that just builds up to nothing, just a dull boss fight against a big robot. Same with Basketball Legends, you just search for things and play a game against some guy. And Natural Disaster Survival left me speechless because I had literally nothing to feel or think about it. And when it's bad, mother of pearl, it's bad. Just the pics alone are mind-boggling. Like, clip it, Metro Life, and when you start actually doing them, God help us all. And yet, I'd be lying if I said I didn't find it fun, because my oh my, I had loads of fun. At least compared to something like the classic or whatever, this one actually felt exciting. This one really felt like an adventure across different games and not just a list of things to do. And sure, it was really stressful to try and do all these games on such a limited time frame. I didn't even manage to complete all the games, but still. In the end, while there's still some very glaring problems with the event, I still found it a good experience. I love how ambitious the event is, and I do kinda wish I did more of this stuff. Maybe with less games, better QA, and without $1 million cash prize. Again, I do kinda wish I did all the games, mainly so that this video can be way more comprehensive, but I'm happy with what I've managed to accomplish. At least I got a cool TV head out of this, and that's all that matters. I also watched the Hunt Tournament stream. It was a good show. Far too much talking in downtime though. I spent most of it rooting for the Death Eagle, so rip. Thanks to Faker and Boxeye for playing with me. You two rock.